Hey folks, welcome back to another Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Blood, which is brought to you by Ludus Magnus Studio. It's for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and games generally run about 90 to 120 minutes. Step into a world where nothing is as it appears. Vassal and his electric troupe of artists dazzle the crowds with their performances and weird shows, but their true calling lies in adventure and quest for power. By day, their secret remains hidden behind charm and artistry, allowing them to strike undetected. As night falls, they become elite magicians, skilled fighters, and cunning thieves, facing deadly foes and battling immortal vampires to seize priceless relics and acquire obscure powers. But danger looms as they prepare for the ultimate hunt in Vlad's legendary castle, guarded by his vampire champions. Will they triumph or be consumed by darkness? Join their journey and discover their fate. Blood is a boss battler game where you will control a group of unusual monster hunters, each featuring their own customizable set of cards. Blood uses an innovative dice and card system to allow you to face the horrors of Vlad's castle until you reach its powerful master. Each raid will bring you face to face with one of Vlad's champions, ready to confront you by developing unique strategies varying based on the location where you encounter them, creating ever-changing combination and situations. At the end of each raid, you will return to the village of Bran to build new epic weapons and learn new fighting techniques to prepare for the final confrontation with the Prince of the Night himself. Do you have the courage to take on Vlad and his minions? Let's find out. So I had a very limited look at what's available in this game. I can't wait to see what they come out with in the full version. I had the very limited dungeons to go through and so forth, but there will be additional tiles and things and different environments you're gonna be able to build upon. And you know what? The game is very, very straightforward, but it is icon heavy. And they do give you a nice reference guide for all the icons, but you will want to get a handle on these before you dive in and try to learn all the mechanics and everything you're doing. But once you get these icons down, everything is going to be very straightforward and quick playing as well. So I'm going to give you a broad overview of what's going on here. Lots of neat things about this game. I love boss battlers, and I love games that allow you, like in the day cycle, to build up your character, spend resources to get new cards and new gear, and you have this great little caravan with wheels on it to show how much you have of any type of resource, and collectively use that and spend to build up those characters. I love it so much. But you also, by night, are going to be engaging with Vlad and his minions, trying to fulfill all the things you need to do for that particular scenario. And again, there's multiple ways to play this game, which is really neat. Story mode, which would be my pick always, which I love, but you can just jump into battles and so forth as well. But the neat thing here is just some of this card system and the icons and how they use it. Really well done. And what I love about games like this too is that you get that tactile experience, is the fact that you have this 3D environment with amazing miniatures, and wow, these enemies with the additional plastic with the red and stuff they have going on here, so very cool. I really like the presentation style of this game overall. It's really well done, and you can also customize to some degree your level of difficulty in the game. If you take a look at any of the main baddies in the game, you'll see they have levels of 1 through 4, and what's interesting about how you take them out and the damage you do to them is that there are various ways. You might have to hit them from the front a couple times and hit the wings on each side. So there's representation of that on cards showing how and where you need to hit them to do a damage and take them out. And each of these main enemies have their own special abilities you have to be mindful of, as well as their own deck of cards. These cards will start to come out and reveal themselves as you put cards into play and the threat level rises. And like any good villain, there are minions, so to say, like undead warriors, bats, things that are going to come into play, and the villains will bring them with them, or the scenario will set some up for you automatically. Lots of different things going on through the course of the game for sure, but in setup for the different catacombs like here, you'll see a card, reference card, really well done to show you exactly and quickly how to set up these dungeons and what to put into play, as well as some reference on the back of the card as well. So I like, again, reference cards in games that help you get up and rolling fast. And the neat thing about heroes in this game is that each has their own deck of cards, very unique to them, as well as the gear. And again, all of this can be upgraded. You can do various things by adding new action cards and so forth. But you have your stats card, and a lot of what you're doing in this game is rolling against those stats, which is basically tests that you're performing in the game to do various things based on the cards you play, based on what the enemy's doing to you, all kinds of back and forth with those cards. Again, it all comes down to the iconography on those cards, but you'll look at your stats to see what dice are available to you to perform those specific tests as you move through the game. And as your hero takes damage, you will be removing a card from your deck and placing it to the side of your board. It is a clever way to show damage, which I like that in games, you know, diminishing your deck, actually diminishing your hero's capability, which is appropriate for taking damage. Now, this board here, I really feel like may be the heart of the game as you put cards into play and they resolve and so forth. So first, you'll see that each of the areas has a 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how they will activate in turn. So first we have like event cards or quest cards that you need to fulfill, and as you do, more slots will open up for you, the players, to put more cards into play. Now, as you put cards into play, in the top left corner, you'll see a threat number, and you move the threat token up. As it hits milestones, the enemy, the main enemy, will start to put their cards into play, so you know what's coming up in that third stage, and then it'll finally end up with the minions, and they'll activate as well. So it's really that straightforward. You put your cards into play, again, being mindful of chaining cards and how you're going to use them to move around the board, attack, and so forth. Maybe you're just laying traps. And then after you resolve your cards, you'll put tokens on them showing you've done so, and then you move to the enemy, and they'll resolve their cards, doing damage and attacking you. So lots of interesting things around how you maneuver and put your strategies together with your teammates. So that's just a broad overview of what's going on here. I really like a lot of the aspects and how the different phases play into each other, like the planning phase, putting those cards into play, and then moving into the tactics as you activate cards, and nemesis, and then finally the minion phase and cleanup at the end of that. So it's really that simple. There's a handy reference guide for all that, and you're just trying to defeat the vampires and come out on top. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. So keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, with that said, the campaign is going strong. They're doing quite well. So this is about the midpoint where you're seeing this video. And, you know, there's just so much to like about this game, and right up my alley for games that I enjoy, because it has that kind of Diablo-esque feel that you're building up your characters and going into dungeons, battling it out, and coming back to the top to gear up even more. So it has that vibe for sure. I like boss battlers in general, like this again, because it's also a co-op experience as you engage and plan tactics with your fellow players. Just some of the fun things I really enjoy. You know, it really comes down to a game that feels like an RPG in a box. But folks, ultimately, if this looks like something of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it from me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.